Days Gone has a big open world with a lot of things going on, but the game does not tell you about everything. I got some tips and tricks to help you survive in this dangerous world, including how to smartly fast travel, how to easily stay alive, and way more. So let's get into it. A like on the video would of course be super appreciated, and let's go. One of my first tips for things that the game does not tell you about, but you should totally look into, is the fact that you can see the XP that you get per enemy kill. You likely already noticed this in my gameplay and of course also in my previous Days Gone videos, and I know that some people don't like this because it's not realistic, but I feel that it does help you a lot in multiple ways, so it's totally worth switching on if you don't mind seeing the XP all the time. It namely shows you if you killed an enemy with a headshot or not, and killing an enemy with a headshot of course gives you significantly more XP than just shooting in the chest or using your melee weapon to take one out. But even more importantly, it shows you when the enemies are dead. Sometimes these freaks will fall on the ground randomly, but then they will get up again. But if you have this setting turned on, then you immediately know when the enemy is dead because you saw the XP coming out of him. And then you also know that you can move on to the other enemy. Oh, and it's really satisfying to see the XP come in after emptying your magazine onto a horde. So that's another great reason to turn this feature on. You can go there by hitting the options button and then go to the options and then to the user interface, and that will be the only feature that you see there. It will be off by default, but again, I think it's really nice to have it on. We already touched on the hordes a little bit, but this next tip actually applies to all the encounters, but it's really nice when fighting hundreds of enemies as well. The game namely says that you should heal yourself by pressing the left analog stick, but that's not actually the most convenient way to do it, because it will take some time to heal yourself and you can easily get hit during this time. Also, the game then picks what healing item you use, so sometimes a medkit while you just want a bandage. If you hold L1 though and then select a healing item, the game goes in slow motion and then lets you pick the item that you want. Do you just need some health back? Then you can better use the bandages, but if you need almost all your health back, then it's better to use the medkit instead. Always heal this way because the slow motion will give you a lot of time and saves you from getting harmed in the process. Meaning that if you got some medical supplies, then you can almost always stay alive if you heal yourself this way. Most of the times I would just go with the bandages, because you will likely find a lot of the materials to craft these bandages pretty easily in the world, while the medkits can be hard to come by. Another tip would be to make sure that you always have 5 bandages with you, not only because you will then not need to craft them during combat, but also because you will then be able to loot the crafting materials in the area that you can otherwise not pick up. And this really applies to everything, so also your Molotov cocktails for example. Always craft as much as you can so you can pick up the resources in the world that are needed to make these items. There are multiple things that the game does not tell you regarding your bike, but that are still super good to know. A pro tip is to always refuel and repair your bike when you leave a camp, because you will likely have enough money at the camp anyways and can otherwise easily get it by doing missions or giving them bounties. The most important reason though is that running out of fuel while out in the open world just really sucks, because then you will need to find it in the nearby area or run to a nearby encampment. Did you by the way know that you can put your bike next to a fuel station and use that instead of the fuel that you can carry around? And you can see those locations thanks to the fuel icon on the mini map, so always nice to go there, and there will always be fuel, like you don't have to look for this fuel tank first. If you can't find any fuel though, then you can always go back to the mechanic in an encampment and retrieve your bike there for a price, so it will just spawn near you and you can refuel it and use it again. So totally, when you're out of fuel but near an encampment, go to the encampment instead to retrieve your bike instead of looking for fuel in the open world. But yeah, your bike can of course also get stuck in the water if you are not careful, but you don't really have to worry about this because you can easily get it out. Just go to the map and then hover over your bike icon and select recover bike, because it will then appear close by and then you can start using it again. A very nice feature the game does not tell you, but will really help you in multiple situations. You need to be close to your bike to save your game and also be out of combat, but you can also quick save your game easily when at your bike by holding the triangle button. And that would be my next tip. Make sure that every time you get near your bike you hold the triangle button so you quick save your game, because if you don't do this and then die, then you might go back to a spot earlier in the game than necessary because you could already save after that point by just simply pressing the triangle button. So just something you want to get in your system: when near your bike, hold the triangle button to quick save. Your bike is of course also needed to fast travel to different parts of the map, and this will save a ton of time, so that's why I think it's always smart to destroy the nest in the area, so you can always use the fast travel spots on the map and get easily to the different locations. There will be a ton of enemies coming out of these nests, but you can always just destroy the nest and then take out all the incoming enemies at once. So look for all the nests in the area and then just burn them one by one, run away from the enemies, and then after you finish the nest, you turn around and kill them all. Or you can just run away if you're not into a fight and still have all the nests completed. Or just wait for these freakers to come out, although this is a faster way to do it for sure. It will of course still cost fuel to get to the different spots via fast traveling. If you're still in the first 3 regions of the game and want to go back to Tucker's camp while you are at Lost Lake, then it's smart to go via your home base first, then refuel your bike, because in this location there will always be a free fuel tank just laying around there that you can use, and then you have a free refill. And if you after that travel to Tucker's camp or another camp, it doesn't really matter in this situation, then you will have to pay less money to refill your tank because you already did it at your home base. And speaking of that home base, always go there and loot everything, because these materials will respawn very often. So make sure that you crafted everything, repaired your bike, and then you can pick up the scrap here in the area or other materials that you need to craft a ton of things that will be handy out in the field. The box in your room also of course contains some nice resources, so you can grab that as well. The resources, or actually the ears that you can get from the freakers in this game, can be exchanged for credits and trust at a camp. But only do that when you need a specific item in a camp or needs the credits. So if you for example want the trust rank 3 guns from Tucker's camp, then exchange all your bounties at that camp and not anywhere else. So just hold on to your bounties. I think you can carry like unlimited ears and also fur and stuff like that you of course get from the animals, and only spend it when you know that you are getting close to something that you want from that camp, because you will keep moving to other camps in this game. So if you spend all your bounties in one camp and then move to the other that has way better stuff, then it's kind of a waste, right? And also by just doing missions for certain camps like Copeland's camp, you will already be able to, in this case, mostly buy all the upgrades for your bike. And those are really handy. I would especially go for the extra fuel tank to combat running out of fuel as soon as possible. But it also lets you simply fast travel longer distances because you have the required fuel. Buying the new engine at Manny is amazing as well, because it significantly increases your top speed and also your durability, so you can get to locations faster and don't have to repair that often, because that of course also sucks that your bike breaks in the middle of the world and you have no scrap. Again, always go out of a camp with a fully repaired bike. And you should not underestimate the saddlebag, so totally try and get that one as well, because it will let you do more activities after each other without having to go back to a camp. Because it will let you refill your ammo a couple of times depending on the saddlebag that you have. I also always buy full ammo at a gun shop in a camp before I go out into the world. And you can make sure that your saddlebag has all the ammo as well. A pro tip with the saddlebag is to make sure that you have multiple empty weapons before you use it, because it will actually give you ammo for all your weapons that don't have all the ammo anymore. While otherwise you will only get ammo back for that one gun that you used. So totally try and use the saddlebags when you have multiple guns that are low on ammo. Another thing that you want to make sure that you have when you leave the camp are suppressors, because they are way more powerful than I first thought and let you easily take out enemies without other enemies in the area noticing it, giving you a ton of time to do a headshot as well. They will break after you use them a couple of times, so then just buy them at the supply section at the merchant, and then whenever you engage in a new combat situation, you want to put them on the weapon that you use, and then silently take down the enemies until they notice you. So yes, you can buy better guns and bike upgrades that of course are nice to enhance your character, but the Nero injectors are great as well. So totally when you are near a Nero checkpoint, try and find a way to open it so you can use these injectors. I went with a balanced approach, so first I got some more health, and after I upgraded that like 2 times, I went with more stamina, because that will be super needed to take out hordes, to run away from them and still have time to turn around and shoot. And then I got more focus, so you are able to take out more of these freakers before the time runs out. So yes, I focused when picking these injectors a lot on the hordes, because those challenges really require the most out of you, while you should easily be able to manage yourself against the other threats. But I'm of course curious to hear how you spend your injectors, so let me know in the comments down below. And when you find other things in Days Gone, also let me know via Twitter at JorRaptor, my Instagram JorRaptor, or in the comments of my Days Gone videos. I want to do a video with all the locations for these injectors, that will be up soon. And I got way more Days Gone videos planned. So totally subscribe for everything Days Gone. A like on the video would be super appreciated. And check out my other Days Gone videos as well, with the best skills that you want to get and the best weapons that you can already get pretty early in the game. For now, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.